This is a revise with me video on factorising. So expanding brackets and factorising go hand in hand. You can see here that I've expanded this bracket, so I've done 2 times the x to get 2x and 2 times the 3 to get the 6. So that's expanding. If I was to go backwards and I would got the answer already and I want to put it back into the bracket, that's called factorising. So I would look at what goes into 2x and 6. That's 2, that goes on the outside of my bracket, and then inside would be x plus 3. So I'll go on and explain a little bit more as I go through each one. So the whole point of factorising is that I want it in brackets. Now I know for all of these questions, because I've chosen them, that they're going to be single brackets. I'll go on to factorising quadratics in a different video where you've got 3 different variables to take into consideration, but these will only be in single brackets, all these questions. So I know I'm going to need some brackets for my answer. So the first bit is I'm going to need a bit outside and some numbers inside. So to get the thing on the outside, to get the number or the letter that needs to go on the outside, you need to think of, I've got 2 variables here. I've got 3x, 3y and 15. I want to know what goes into 3y and 15. Now there's no y in both of them, so I know it's not a letter on the outside. But a number does go into 3 and 15. So 3 goes into 3 and 15. So that number needs to come on the outside of my bracket. So I know I've got 3 times something and 3 times something else here and here. So for the first one, 3 times what will give me 3y. So I want to know 3 times this one here is going to give me 3y. Now I've already got the 3, so I just need the y. So the y needs to come in here. Because when I expand it, 3 times y gives me 3y. For the next bit, the bit that comes here, I'm going to be 3 times what gives me 15. So I'm going to need 5 in there because 3 times 5 is 15. Now, whatever is here, this positive or negative, is usually the thing that goes in the middle. Okay, the only way it will change is if you've got a negative or a positive at the front here. But because I don't, whatever is here, plus comes in the middle, a plus. So if I was to expand this now, so let me get rid of all of my working. I can't get rid of a highlight, I don't think. So if I get rid of all this, if we expand this now, I would do 3 times y gives me 3y. 3 times 5 gives me 15. And I've got back to my answer, so I know I've done it correct. So that is my answer, 3 on the outside and y plus 5 on the inside. Right, next one. So I want to know, I need my brackets to start. So I need to know what comes on the outside now. So what goes into 4w and 6? So I know there's no w's in both of them, so it's definitely not a w on the outside. But 2 does go into 4 and 6. So we need the highest number, remember. So 2 goes into 4 and 6. So now I need 2 times what gives me 4w. Well, 2 times 2 gives me 4, and I need that w there. So 2 times 2w gives me 4w. Then 2 times what here gives me 6. So I know 2 times 3 gives me 6. And because there's a negative, I'm going to put minus. So I've got 2w minus 3. You can check if you want by expanding it. So 2 times 2w is 4w, and 2 times 3 is 6. So I've got minus 6, and that gives me this question. Okay. Right. What need my brackets? What goes into 15y and 20? So there's no letter in both. So there's no letter on the outside, but I know that 5 goes into 15 and 20. So that comes on the outside of my bracket. And then I want 5 times this here gives me 15y. So I know 5 times 3 is 15. and I also need the y. Because there's a plus, I'm going to put plus, and then 5 times this space here, this blank space, is 20. So I do my 5 times table until I get 20, which is 4. So my answer is 5, 3y plus 4. So it's all about what numbers go into it, and it's doing the reverse of expanding. Right, this one we've got x squared, which means x, not x squared, that's an a on my days, a times a. So a squared is a times a, and then I've got 3a. So I need to know what goes into a squared and 3a. Now there's a letter in both of them, so that needs to come on the outside. And there's no numbers, so because that's a 1 here, and that's a 3, and I think goes into 1 and 3 apart from 1, which is invisible. So a times what gives me a squared. Well, a squared is a times a, so we're going to need that a in there. And then a times what here gives me 3a, so I'm going to need that 3, and because I've got a plus, I'm going to put plus. So this one factorizes a plus 3, so you can have letters on the outside as well. Okay, so this is very similar to the last one. So what goes into w squared and 5w? There's a w in both, so that's got to come on the outside of my brackets. So w times this first one is w squared. Now w squared means w times w, so I need the w in there. Then I've got w times what gives me 5w, so I'm missing the 5, and because there's a negative, I'm going to put negative. So I've got w minus 5. Okay, so this one we've got 24x squared and 20x. Now there is an x on both of them, so I know an x comes on the outside. However, I know there's a number that goes into 24 and 20. Okay, so what times table are they both in? They are both in the 4 times table. So they're both in the 2 times table as well, but I want the highest number, so that's 4. So now I need 4x times what is 24x squared. So I need that x, but also I need 4 times something is 24. So I know 4 times 6 is 24. So there's going to be a 6x in there as well, because when I expand it, 4x times 6x gives me 24x squared. Now I need to fill in this extra gap here, so 4x times what is 20x. It's already got the x, so I don't need another x in this bit. I just need to know 4 times what is 20. Do my 4 times table until I get 20, so that is 5. And in the middle, we've got a plus, so it is a plus. So this one has a number and a letter on the outside, and you can expand it if you want to check it just to make sure. So always do that in your exam if you're not too sure. Okay, next one. So this one has a c cubed. So this means c times c times c, and I've got 2c. So immediately I know there's a c on the outside, only 1, because I've got 1 in here and 3 there, so I only need to cancel out 1. So c times what is c cubed. Now if I've already got the 1, I need the c times c left, which is c squared. Now for this gap, c times what is 2c, so I need the 2, and plus, so I put a plus. So this one is c squared plus 2. Okay, next one, we've got 2w squared plus w. So there is a w in both. There's no letters in the other goes into both of them. So it's just a w on the outside. Then for this space here, w times what is 2w squared. So I need the 2, and I need an extra w to get that w squared, because don't forget w squared means w times the w, so I need 2 w's. Then I want w times what is w. Well, something times itself is itself, so it's going to be 1. anything times 1 is itself. That's what I meant by that. So anything times 1 is itself. So it's going to be plus 1. So we got W, 2W plus 1. Okay. Okay, next one. We've got 9m squared minus 12mp. So this one's quite a tricky one because you've got a lot going on here. Now I need what is in both of these. So I need maybe a number and a letter. So I can see there's an m in both. So that needs to come on the outside. But also 9 and 12 are both in the 3 times table. So 3 goes into both of them. So our 3 needs to come on the outside as well. So to get this first bit, 3m times what is 9m squared? Well, I need 3 times the 3 to get my 9, and I need another m to get m squared, because remember, m squared means m times m. So this space here is going to be 3m times something is 12mp. So I've already got the m, so I don't need an m, but I need another p. Well, I need a p, I haven't got another one, but I need the p. 3 times what is 12 is 4, so it's going to be 4p in there, and in the middle, because I've got a negative, so it's going to be minus. So we got 3m minus 4p. Right, next one we got 6w and 10x. So what goes into 6w and 10x? So there's no numbers there's no letters that are the same. We've got w and an x. We can't put a letter on the outside, but a number does go into 6 and 10. So the only number that goes into 6 and 10 is 2. So 2 needs to come on my outside. Then 2 times the first bit. 2 times what is 6w? So we know 2 times 3 is 6, but you need the w, and get this bit. 2 times what is 10x? So we need the 5. 2 times 5 is 10, and we need that x. And because there's a plus, we can put plus. So it's 2, 3w plus 5x. Okay, next one we've got 12 and 4p. So what goes into 12 and 4p? So there's no letters in both of them, so we can't put a letter on the outside of our brackets. But a number does go into 12 and 4. They're both in the 4 times table. Okay, they're also both in the 2 times table, but we put our highest number. Okay, so 4 times what is 12? So we know 4 times 3 is 12, so that first space is 3. And then 4 times what is 4p? So we just need that extra p. And because there's a plus, we put a plus. So we got 4, 3 plus p. Okay, next one we got 20a squared plus c. 20a squared c plus 30ac. Okay, so we need what is in 20a squared c and 30ac. So I know a number goes into both of these, so I know they're both in the 10 times table. They also both have an a, so we can factorize out the a, and they also both have a c, so we can also have that outside of our bracket. So remember, outside the bracket is everything that can go into both of them. So I've got a c and I've got an a in both of them. Now, first space, 10ac times what is 20a squared c. Already got the c, need an extra a, and we need the 2 to make 20. So we need to times it by 2 to make 20, and we just need that extra a. Because when I times these two, 10 times 2 is 20, a and a is a squared, and I've got that c, which is 20a squared plus c. Right. Next bit, so in this space here, I've got 10ac times what is 30ac. I've already got the ac, so I don't need any letters. I just need 10 times what is 30, so that is 3. And then we've got plus so I put a plus. If you're unsure, don't forget to expand it to see if you get your answer again. Okay? So this one we've got w squared, which means w times w, and we've got wy squared, which is y times y. So we need what goes into both. Now, there's both letters in both of these things, but there's only one. So we've got one w and one y to factorize out. So the first bit, because w and y go into both of them, so that's why w and y are on the outside. So we want wy times what is w squared y. We've already got a 1y, so we don't need another one, but we've got two lots of w, so we're going to need another w. And for the second bit, it's kind of the opposite. So we've already got one w, but there's two y's, so I'm going to need a y. And because there's a plus, I put a plus. Okay, I think this is the last one. So we want what goes in. I know there's three things. That just means there's three things inside of our bracket for this one. So we need what goes into all three of these. So do it step by step. If you want to do your numbers first or your letters first, that's up to you. So I'm going to do my numbers first. So what goes into 8, 12, and 4? Well, I know 4 goes into all three, so that comes on the outside. Well, let me move it over a bit because I think we might need some letters as well. So we got 4 on the outside. Now, we'll look at A. There's only A in the first one, so that's not on the outside. There's a P in all three, though, so that can come on the outside. There's only a C in here, so that can't go on the outside. We need it in all three to go on the outside. So to get the first bit, we've got 4P times this one gives me 8AP. So I've got the P. I need 4 times what is 8, so I need the 2. And I'm also missing an A. So I need an A for that first one. So that's that one done. So in the middle bit here, we've got 4P times what is 12CP. Got a P, so I don't need another P. I need 4 times what is 12, so I need a 3. And I'm missing a C, so I need a C in there. So that's that bit done. We can add our plus here if we want to now. We can also add our minus here next. Now we need this one. So we need 4P times this one is 4P squared. Got the 4. Got 1P, so I need one more P. So it's going to be 4P 2A plus 3C minus P. And that gives me my answer.